Dave in the front.
Look, as a teammate of Chris's, when he gets a big switched out onto him on the perimeter, are you watching to see what's going to happen next, or what goes
Space
through?
out. Coach talks about all the time is, our spacing. We have to punish teams for switching 1 through 5 like that. And, like I just heard Chris say, we prepare for any type of defense, and we watch a lot of basketball, and where we've been most successful in that situation is space out. So every time he shoots it, we think it's going in.
Dwayne?
Yes, Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic. Devin, you went retro with this look right here. This is like 90s. They used to dress after games in the finals. But wanted to ask about Giannis. Were you expecting him to play tonight? I mean, or were you unsure whether he was going to step out there?
Honestly, I had no idea. But we did prepare for both. So, I kind of took our energy away from worrying about that and just locking in what we have to do as a team because, I've said it before, we focus on, ourselves more than anything. But obviously he's a big factor to the game, and, that can be a whole entirely different game. And just scouting, not saying they're better one way or the other, but, we had 2 different game plans as if he was playing or he wasn't.
Like was a key tonight that maybe doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but you feel like you guys did this particularly well that led to the win?
Just team defense, communication through everybody. We understand we don't want to make it a make or miss game. We want to make teams miss, and we want to guard at the highest level. So, that's where we've been successful is, just banking on that. I think that Clipper game when it was 71-70 for 6 minutes straight, we're not making a bucket, but we're not letting them score either. So that's where we hang our hats on is our defense end, and, we'll make it work on the other end.
Thanks, Devin.
Thank you.
Mark?
Hey, Devin, Monty was praising you and DA and Chris for having a lot of talks throughout the season about how to make that dynamic work and maximize the potential. What did those talks entail, and why do you think it's worked so well?
Just like Chris whispered to me when he was walking out, he was like, we've been on his ass. and we have, and that's why, Chris can say that's who he's most proud of. And I feel the same way because sometimes you walk around the court, Chris will be talking to him. I'll be waiting right there. You done, Chris? All right, now let me go tell him something. So we're all in his ear. We're all on him. And for him to retain all that information and come perform at the level that he's been performing is, it's hard to put words to it because we have been tough on him. And, he has went through his phases in his NBA career, but since this playoffs have started, you've seen his maturity and his growth, grow to a whole nother level. And, he's continuing to get better, and his willingness to learn, now instead of me coming up to him, he might come to me and be like, what should I do when this happens? So just little things like that, man. And, he still has even more in the tank that, he's going to show soon.
Melissa?
Did you have a moment tonight when this all hit you like, wow, this is a moment that I've been dreaming about my entire career and I'm finally here?
Tonight it was tough. When we had practice, when we walked in, they have the finals displayed on every TV. It kind of hit me, but, it's kind of hard to reflect on what's going on when we're in it.
Kellen, right here on 2.
What up, Kellen?
The 16 you guys scored at the start of the game, they were all in the paint. You guys had the free throws way up tonight. Do you think that's when the offense is at its best, when you guys are aggressive like that?
Yeah. We always want to be the initiator of the game and, start it off the right way and, put pressure on the paint. When we put pressure on the rim like that, it opens up other opportunities for people. Everybody on the floor can shoot and can space. So we know when we get downhill that, we can make something happen for a team, whether it's score the ball or swing it to the opposite side and get an open shot.
What were you seeing specifically that you liked at the start of the game in terms of attacking? Because you were there.
Yeah, just what you said, just, asserting ourselves into the game, early. I think the games that we've struggled this year, we were fighting uphill the whole game and starting off down 15, 20 points. But, I think when we come out with that pace and that energy, how it should be for a finals game, we're going to leave ourselves in a pretty good shape.
Thanks, Buck.
Thank you.
Ryan on the left.
I think you said before, whenever Chris shoots it, you guys think it's going in. That third quarter pretty much did almost.
Yeah.
What did that do for you guys' confidence? That, it was a close game for the first half. No one had a double-digit lead, and then kind of, what does that show you when your guy has it rolling like that?
I mean, it gives you all the confidence in the world. Like I said, we hang our hat on the defense end, and, you know, anything that we're getting offensively is a plus. You know, that's how we try to look at things as this team. So, you know, just guarding, and, you know, when we can give it to Chris like that and let him isolation any team that is trying to switch 1 through 5, you know, we're in good shape.
Palmer, do you on Zoom?
Next is going to be Jovan Buha with The Athletic.
Hey, Book. I wanted to ask you about Mikhail's performance tonight and his defense on Chris Middleton, and then also offensively him getting out in transition.
Yeah, I mean, he had the toughest assignment tonight in guarding Chris, especially the way Chris had it rolling. But, you know, we've been stressing to him all the time, just make it hard on him. You know, he's going to make tough shots, but just always be in the right place. And, you know, when he's out in transition, playing with his length and his speed, you know, he's a tough coverage. You know, so if guys want to, you know, sleep on him or whatever you want to call it, you know, he can make you pay. And teams are going to understand, you know, that's not the guy to leave open, or that's not the guy to leave in transition, because he will make you pay.
Next is Kirsten Susel with 12 News.
Hey, Book, going off that question of just kind of being able to recognize the moment of being at the finals, at this point, do you still ever get butterflies or get anxious, anything like that? And were you dealing with any of it when on your way to the arena or going through warmups?
I just get really excited. That's pretty much it. You know, us as a team, and, you know, trusting everybody in this locker room, from coaching staff, the training staff, all the way down to the players. You know, it's kind of hard to get butterflies because you understand your brother has your back. You know, it takes a lot of pressure off you when you know, good or bad, that you're going to be in the game, you're going to be competing to win. So, you know, for me, you know, that relieves a lot, you know, and I'm sure all the other guys feel that, you know, you're not pressured to go out there and play a perfect game. You know, you can go out there and play your game, whether you're making or missing shots. I keep saying it, you know, we're going to be on the other end defending.
Next up is Mark Schwartz with ESPN.
Look, as we've talked about, Chris is 36 years old. We know he's going to the Hall of Fame, but, you know, when they induct him, they're going to talk about his leadership. They're going to talk about his playmaking. But now they're going to have to talk about the 73 points he scored in the last 2 games. I mean, this guy is now a bucket too.
Chris Paul's he's been a bucket, man. I mean, he obviously, you know, he gets his team involved. He is the greatest leader, you know, to play this game, but he's been a bucket for a very long time. And, you know, in my 6 years of playing against him, or 5 years of playing against him, you understand that, you know, there's no scouting report that says Chris Paul can't get a bucket.
We'll take final 2 questions here, Malika and Ramona.
Hey, Book. I'm just wondering, Jay Crowder, he doesn't score until late, but he's the only guy here on either team who'd had playoff or finals rather experience coming in. Could you feel that at all, his impact being a little bit different than any other guy who hadn't been there?
Just the leadership, you know, you understand he's been there before. Our whole team understands he was just there last year, you know, so we bank on him for that gritness, that toughness. You know, I think a big part of the game was him taking the charge on Giannis down there underneath, just making Giannis think that, you know, you just can't go through him every time, you know, because he's a strong base. I mean, his shot didn't fall tonight, but as history speaks, we know it will and it can. But he impacts the game in so many different other ways. And whether he's making a shot, whether he's playing good defense, he's always communicating with our team and talking to guys and giving any type of pointers and being honest with them. You know, I always talk about honesty with our team, and, you know, when somebody's slacking, just letting them know. And even if it's aggressive, we have a team that, you know, can relay that information and don't take it personal. And, you know, Jay's one of them guys that, you know, if you're slipping up, he's going to get on you.
Hey, Book. Mark, Ramona Shelburne with ESPN. Mark mentioned earlier, Chris is 36. We talked about this a lot. A couple of years ago, people were talking about him like he was done, like it was his contract was too big, or he kept getting hurt at the wrong time. You're such a student of the game. I'm sure you watched that, and I'm wondering how those words landed with you, but also how you've just seen him yourself with your own eyes this last year, and how he's sort of reconfigured himself now.
Yeah, anybody that counted Chris Paul out, I mean, we just went down his track record of, you know, he's walking in the Hall of Fame, first ballot. you know, so you can't ever count any guy out that has done the things that he's done on the court. So, you know, if I hear things like that, which I did, you know, I take it as complete nonsense. You know, if he doesn't play another game for us, you can still pay him his contract. His effect's that big. You know what I'm saying? So he moves his team. He leads his team daily, and just having him in the locker room, I'm not even talking about anything he does on the court, takes the team to that next level.
Just as a quick follow-up, I don't know if you saw, if you were close enough to the dribble that he did on Bobby Portis today. What have you ever been on the other side of one of those? And how terrifying is it to be on defense when somebody can do that? Whatever we want to call
I'm
it.
locking that up. That has nothing to do with me, Bobby Porter. I'm locking C up. I tell him all the time.
But what do we?
No,
call
it's
that?
tough. It's tough. You know, he's a tough guard. You know, he's one of those guys that you take one thing away, he does the other. You know, it might sound simple, but you know, he just takes what the defense gives him, and the ability to shoot the ball and score the ball from any spot on the court just makes you really tough to guard.
Thanks, Buck.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.